On presenting at International Night Exhibit Spring 2013, University of Hawaii at Mānoa. I'm filming this over a decade later on Tuesday, 4 February 2025. I'm Tanis Coralee Leonhardi, she, her, hers of Seattle, and talk through presenting at International Night at the University of Hawaii at Mānoa during the spring 2013 semester. I was part of a group exhibit presentation, and our topic was South African cuisine. Our affiliation for the presentation was the School of Travel Industry Management within the university. So essentially each year they held an international night, and it was a big deal, and it's about kind of opening it up to international community. It's Hawaii. There was a bunch of cultures and that kind of thing. So there was a exhibition session. I can't remember. I think it was either like one or it was broken up in locations, and like sometimes there are sessions where it's like multiple time slots. If I'm recalling correctly, it was one where it was like one time slot but multiple locations. And so we had to create an exhibit. I am distinguishing here from a poster because it had to be able to stand on its own, whereas a poster presentation you usually like tack it up to something. It had to be able to stand on its own, and I even brought physical props. Yeah, and then there was like a huge auditorium where there was performances. So not talk presentations, but people would give like, you know, a Korean dance or that kind of thing. So it was dedicated to the to international culture, right? To world culture. And so I was taking a course called Food and World Culture through the travel industry, the School of Travel Industry Management. My final overall course grade was an A. As part of it, our teacher put us in groups in. It was like, you're going to go out there and you're going to represent the school at International Night, and you're all going to present. So we had to come up with a topic, and I had been, since it was International Night, and I had just, the semester before I came or went to the University of Hawaii at Mānoa, I was spent at Nelson Mandela Metropolitan University in Port Elizabeth, South Africa. I was like, how about South African cuisine? It's something I have experience with. And so that was, because otherwise it was kind of like, well, what do we choose? And so it was like, well, there's one with experience, and I still have some of my like South African stuff, like the stuff I got in South Africa. So it was like, we could have props. It wasn't kind of like, let's just look on the internet, and you know, it was 2013, so there wasn't necessarily as much information on the internet as there is now. Right, so it was nice to have at least one of us with real lived experience. I was there 6-month student visa, so it wasn't like I went there for a week or something. It was like, no, it was South African cuisine was part of my experience. So that's what we did, and it was, so we had the exhibit, and then people came by, and we took turns who would speak to the people as they came by. And yes, I did a lot of the final production, but it was a team effort. Like final putting stuff together and that kind of thing. We assigned writing components and that kind of thing for the physical. There was writing on our exhibit, but yeah, it was teamwork, and it was an enjoyable experience. And I did, if I'm recalling correctly, watch a few of the performances as well. So it's a little bit different exhibits and performances instead of talks and posters. So some would say that's like, you know, if one's into performance, that's like one step up. It has to be able to stand on its own. You can have props and for the exhibits, and then for the performances, you might have to sing instead of talk, kind of thing. So that's on presenting at International Night Exhibit Spring 2013, University of Hawaii at Mānoa.